STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And we're very fortunate to have STEM schools and have that type of education here in our district because students have an ability to really delve in and learn through projects, real-life application with STEM, and emphasis in really exploring things that they're curious about and asking questions and then discovering and constructing knowledge through different projects that they're working on. So STEM education provides those avenues for kids to explore and to understand the world around them. Some examples of things that kids can do through engineering is, say, working on bridges and trying to figure out what kind of bridge can hold the most weight. It would require kids to do some research to find out, how do we construct bridges? What makes a bridge strong? What makes it sturdy? And then put those things into practice by designing it and taking that design into application and actually building it and testing it out. And then having conversations about what worked and what didn't. And then going back through the process again to make improvements. So that's a real life application at a model level so that kids really have an opportunity to dig in to engineering and pull those pieces together.
So you want him to turn right again?
No.
Okay, so you want him to, and so instead of turning right, you want him to go forward. Now you want him to turn right.
No.
But that's what you're going to program him to do, right? Remember, this is where we're trying to get, but we have to think about each step that it takes to get there, right?
In this classroom, first grade students are working on programming. So with their B-Bots, they're able to put in a simple program and have the robots, in this case, go to the X. So you can see by trial and error and collaboration, kids are figuring out how to make the bot go where it needs to go and learning from their mistakes. So very much STEM education. This didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. How do I go back and correct it? This one relies heavily on the technology, engineering, and math. For first grade, really understanding the math and the cardinal directions, the left, right, forward, backward, is an important concept. So this is very important for them to be learning and cementing those skills. And for the technology, of course, just knowing how to program, and when they make a mistake, how to correct it and go back and try it again is an important concept that first graders are working on right now. This is one of our fifth grade classes, and they've been working on Mars and the Mars rover. So this has involved research with them finding out about Mars. Does Mars support life? What do they want their rover to do once it gets there? What should it be collecting? So their model of Mars is based on the research that they've done and pulling together a mock-up of what it looks like. And then they've had an opportunity to build from recycled materials their own bots, and those will end up on their planet Mars here in the classroom. It pulls together everything. They've had opportunities in math to talk about what would my weight be here, what would my weight be on Mars. They, again, have had an opportunity to research and find out what is life like on Mars. Is there life on Mars? There's a KWL chart in there. What do you know? What do you want to learn? And what have you learned? So that's been an important piece of their research to help them dig in and to see and understand more about Mars.
It didn't break!
Didn't break! High five. Good job.
Second graders have been working on egg drop and getting prepared for egg drop. They were given the challenge to come up with packaging that would keep their eggs secure, and today they're going to drop it from a fire truck. So several things that second graders have been working on, and first is really looking at packaging and how can we cushion and keep something safe. We're working specifically with the engineering design, so kids had to think about what types of things would keep it safe. They've had some practices to drop from different distances, and so now they're going to put it to the test from a far up distance, and I can't wait to find out how their packages do.
That's okay. We're going to talk about how we could do this to improve.
Through doing this challenge, they're also working with course, with motion, and they will have an opportunity to debrief afterwards and talk about what worked and what was effective packaging for their eggs and what didn't work quite so well. In this room, we have 4th grade students, and they're working on inventors and finding out about famous inventors. They picked several inventors and did some research, but not only did they do the research, they had to justify why they felt that a particular inventor of their choosing made the most important invention. So again, it really makes it relevant for students when we're talking about even research in STEM, that they were doing the reading, the writing, they were looking at inventors that really have impacted science or technology. But for them to be able to justify it made it higher level thinking for them and much more relevant, because they had to talk about, why do you think Garrett Morgan's stoplight was more important than his gas mask? Or why would Thomas Alva Edison's light bulb really make transformational strides for the way we live today? Teachers do not have to have any type of special certification. They just have to have an open mind to realize they can pull in anything. Reading, writing. As I mentioned, research for Bridges is an opportunity to read about it, to write down your thoughts. So pulling all of those pieces in to make it real life application for kids. When we go to work, we don't go to work in silos and use just my reading skills today or just my math skills today. When we work real life and we pull everything together. That's what we want for kids also. And teachers just have to be able to think big to facilitate that.